Welcome to Pass the Turn. This is another Magic the Gathering video, and today you're going to have a look at my deck tech for my Damia Sage of Stone Sultai Commander deck. With this deck, it is all about removing people's creatures and destroying them, and destroying loads of permanents, and just literally Damia's eyes, destroying everything inside. So we'll start with a land base. This is a three color deck. I'm a bit of a cheapskate when it comes to lands, so you'll see that I don't really have the lands that rich players would have. But we'll start off with the basic lands. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 forests. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 swamps. 1, 2, 3 islands. A Phyrexian's Core, which allows me to add 1 to my mana pool and sacrifice an artifact to gain a life. This comes in handy with another artifact that I'll get to later. Phyrexian's Core. We've got a Golgari Guildgate, which adds black and green mana but enters the battlefield tapped. Similarly, is that even a word? Probably not. Submerged Boneyard adds a black and a blue but enters tapped. Thornwood Falls adds a blue and a green, enters tapped but gains you 1 life. Foul Orchard enters tapped but adds a black or a green. Command Tower, which adds green, blue or black because that's in Damia's colours. Drowned Catacomb, which enters tapped unless I control an island or a swamp, so that's blue and black. Woodland Stream enters tapped with green and blue mana. And finally an Evolving Wilds, which allows me to fix my mana for whatever I need at the time. So that is the mana base, albeit it's quite a cheap mana base. But I haven't had any problems with that mana base as is, even though it is extremely budget. You know, I'm not running like your Flooded Groves or Twilight Mires or any of those like filter lands. I'm not running crack lands, not actual crack cocaine lands, but not those ones where you tap and pay 1 life and sack it to go get a island or a mountain or what have you. I don't have any of those in there. It's all very much the ones that enter tapped, but to this day they haven't really proven any less effective than those particular expensive destroy your wallet type lands. So the commander herself is a 7 CMC commander, so 4 colourless and black, green and blue. So this is a legendary creature Gorgon Wizard with Death Touch, so anything that she touches will die, so she can trade with any creature card on the battlefield as long as she can block it, and it doesn't have indestructible, so instantly good. However, this is pretty much a Sultai good stuff deck with loads and loads of permanent destruction, taking on the theme of that Gorgons can literally destroy any living being just by looking at it. So that's pretty much where the deck resides within that sort of area, removal. And the good thing about Damia is that when she is out, it says skip your draw step. It doesn't matter, because at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. That's really, really good. This deck is all about casting lots and lots of spells to make sure you're keeping your control and your hold on the game by destroying all those horrible permanents constantly, destroying things that are becoming a threat and allowing to draw up to your hand size and draw even more of those answers that present themselves to you is extremely useful. And you'll see in this deck in a moment all the good stuff that you can get off of the back of drawing up to your full maximum hand size each turn. So in no particular order, I'm going to go through this entire EDH deck of what I've built for Damia Sage of Stone. And again, I'm not a great deck builder. I normally build on theme and flavour, and this theme is very much Damia looking at things and removing them, just destroying everything that she touches or disallowing things to happen. But again, it's a Sultai good stuff deck, so not many synergies. I used to have a Gorgon Tribal sub-theme, but I think that's going to feature in a new Commander deck with Sisters of Stone Death, which you'll see at some point. I hope to build that deck at some point. So let's start right at the top with a nice little equipment card called Grappling Hook. So this is a 4-cost artifact equipment. Equipped creature has double strike, which is great because any creature that has Death Touch with double strike will destroy whatever they're blocking, whatever they're attacking, or whatever's blocking them before they even get a chance to retaliate. So Death Touch, and First Strike or Double Strike, which Grappling Hook allows you to do, is instantly good. Any creature with Death Touch with First Strike also is instantly good, but this gives you double strike. So Damia will attack for 8, 4 First Strike damage, 4 normal damage. But the good thing about this card as well is that whenever a equipped creature attacks, you may have target creature block it this turn if able. So it has that sort of that lure effect equipped to this card. And again, something with Death Touch can literally just choose what it attacks and what it removes. So it's basically a removal spell when equipped to a Death Touch creature. So yeah, great card in the deck. That is Grappling Hook. Melstrom Pulse. Simply 1 black, 1 green and 1 other. Destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. So if there's a load of tokens on the board, you can just instantly destroy that entire army of tokens, or you can just simply remove an on-land permanent which is annoying you. So again, really good removal. The tokens as well, just wipes that board completely. What commander deck is complete without a source of ramp? This is Far Wanderings, one of many in the deck. Search your library for a basic land and put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. If you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, which I probably will do because I'm casting so many spells, instead search your library for up to 3 basic lands and put them onto the battlefield. So again, this is really good. Early game or late game, but most of the time if I can fulfill that threshold, it's awesome. So that's Far Wanderings. Putrefy, 1 green, 1 black and 1 other. So a worse Maelstrom Pulse. This will remove or destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. So again, nice little removal spell in Putrefy. Classic Golgari. Here we have an Archaeomancer, one of the few creatures in the deck. This is a 2 colourless and 2 blue. When Archaeomancer enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hands. This is great for getting back all the upcoming and previously mentioned removal cards and utilising them as many times as possible. So Archaeomancer is great in the deck. Death Sprout, fairly new card in War of the Spark. This is a Golgari and black and 1. Double black, green and 1. Destroy target creature, so creature removal, and then search your library for a basic land and put it onto battlefield tap. So it's ramp and removal in 1, which is really interesting. And awesome artwork. And Braska flavor text on there as well, which she is a legendary Gorgon, and she will appear in here as well. Argentum Armor, another ridiculous piece of equipment. So it costs 6 to bring in. Equipped creature gets +6/+6. So this will make Damia a 10/10. With whenever that equipped creature attacks, destroy target permanent. Ridiculous. This card actually posed a huge threat in the 2-headed giant game that we played. So you can check that up here. Appeared out of nowhere. This is really good, and you can see this deck in action actually in the link that I just gave you at the top there. Damia, Sage of Stone, 2-headed giant with Vile Smasher and Ishai, I think it was, against Najila and something else. But go and check that out if you want to see this deck in action. Spoiler alert, we won the game due to one of my cards, so go and check it out now. Argentum Armor, really good. A straight up cancel, counter target spell. If you're running blue, you have to run some sort of denial cards, which you can just, hold back in your hand, and when that huge play comes out of nowhere, you can be just like, nope, sorry, it's not happening, sorry, cancel, unlucky. Great Planeswalker, Braska the Relicseeker. So this is a Golgari and 4 others. She comes in with 6 loyalty, so very high starting loyalty, and they always say that the best planeswalkers can protect themselves, and she can do that. So for a +2, she can create a 2/2 black pirate creature token with Menace, which is really good. A little 2/2 with Menace that can't be blocked by at least 2 or more creatures. Awesome uptick. Then we got a -3, which is destroy target artifact, creature or enchantment, then create a colourless treasure artifact creature token, not a creature token, sorry, treasure artifact token with Sacrifices artifact. Oh, why am I reading this out? You already know what a treasure token is. Let's be honest. I don't have to read any more of that fucking downtick. Then there is a -10, which can win games. Spoiler alert. Target player's life total becomes 1. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. In a commander game, that just wipes someone out, as you can expect. Go and check out the game I aforementioned. The game that I aforementioned before this card. Treasured Find. Great card. Black and green, so Golgari. Return target card from a graveyard to your hand and exile this card. It's a shame you have to exile it because you could bring it back with like Archaeomancers or Eternal Witnesses. So this is really, really good for getting those horrible answers back into your hand. It's a shame you have to exile this, but again, great card. Treasured Find. Perilous Vault. Horrible card. Costs 4 to bring into play, and then you can pay 5 and tap it and exile Perilous Vault to exile all non-land permanents, which is atrocious. There's a lot of these cards that will sit there and pose a threat, waiting for the button to be pressed before everything is removed, which you'll find later. Unwind, another counter spell, costs 1 blue and 2 others. Counter target non-creature spell, untap up to 3 lands. So this can get rid of a horrible sorcery, and then you basically played it for free. Didn't even tap any mana for it, which is really, really good. So that's Unwind. Acidic Slime, my co-host's one of the most hated cards that my co-host doesn't like. That is Acidic Slime. 2/2 Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. So a bit of land destruction on here as well. Acidic Slime, also Death Touch, so he synergizes with the grappling hooks and what have you. So again, Death Touch is really, really good. So it's a card that can trade with any creature, and it comes in and destroys something of your choice as well, which is posing an issue. So Acidic Slime is great removal. Curse of the Cabal. This is a horrible card if you're the target of it. So costs 10 mana in total. Target player sacrifices half the permanents he or she controls, rounded down. So say goodbye to half of your board, basically. You can suspend it as well, so you can suspend it and just leave it there as an imminent threat that if you don't deal with it, it will just keep... it just hangs over your head. Curse of the Cabal. I've never ever suspended it in a game before though, so I've never actually had to use the suspend. But who knows? It might be used at some point. But again, if you get this off on someone, they're probably going to scoop. Curse of the Cabal. Lightning Greaves. Can't go wrong with putting your Lightning Greaves on your commander so they can't be targeted by spells or abilities. So again, costs 2 to bring in. You can equip it for 3. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. Awesome card. Phyrexian Obliterator. This card actually came out in the Damia game as well, as I've aforementioned already. This costs 4 black mana, so it's hard to get out, but even in this Sultai deck, where I don't have all black mana, I managed to get it out on the game that I played it, which was good. And that's just down to the dual lands that you have in the deck, just making sure you utilise those and have enough. But there's a lot of black in this deck anyway, so black is the main colour. However, 5/5 Trample, that'd be good. Shroud and Trample mixed together. Shrample. 5/5 Trample. That'd be like a sort of a mist form creature, wouldn't it? 5/5 Trample. Anyway, 5/5 Trample. Whenever a source deals damage to a phyrexian Obliterator, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents. And to be complemented by Sheldred, the Whispering One, must be a good card. Phyrexian Obliterator, awesome. Gift of Paradise. This is a nice little ramp card. Costs 2 colourless and 1 green. Enchantland. When it enters the battlefield, I gain 3 life, so a nice little bit of life gain on there as well. And the enchanted land has tap, add 2 mana of any one colour to your mana pool. So again, I can just ramp a land and get a little bit of life out of it. All is Dust. Great card. Each player sacrifices all coloured permanents they control. That's not very nice. Period. Don't need to say any more about that card. Ugin, the Ineffable. War of the Spark, quite a new card. And actually did a video on Ugin as well as a Planeswalker in his own right, so go and check that out up there now. And then come back to this video because Ugin is really, really good, so I did a separate video on him. But he's really good. Costs 6 colourless mana, so you can play whatever mana you wish to bring him out. Colourless spells then that you cast cost 2 less, so any artifact spells, any devoid spells will cost all 2 less. So that all is dust that was before this will actually cost 5 if Ugin was out, which is horrendous. And as a result of that as well, Ugin would survive because he's colourless, which is great. But yeah, another Planeswalker that can protect himself. He can exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 colourless creature, spirit creature without flying, never mind. When that token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. So for a +1 uptick, he can create a 2/2 colourless spirit, which manifests basically a top card of your library, and then when it gets removed from the battlefield, or when it leaves, or when it dies, you put that card into your hand. So again, a bit of card draw, a bit of insight as well, which is good. And then -3 is destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colours, which is going to be a lot of things. So again, removal, which is great. Diabolic Shooter, just a card which allows me to fetch any card of my choosing for that particular situation. I love shooter cards, they're great. Kodamas Reach, standard procedure for any EDH with green. Search library for up to 2 basic lands, reveal those cards, put one into a battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand, then shuffle your library. Everyone knows what that does. Growth Spiral, just for an extra bit of value. Green, blue, draw a card, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So, nice little bit of ramp and card draw. Mana Geode, just for a bit of a mana fix, costs 3. When Mana Geode enters the battlefield, scry 1, so again a bit of insight into what's coming next. If I don't want it, I can put it to the bottom, etc. Add 1 mana of any colour, which is good. Thran Dynamo, ridiculous card, foil as well, so it's worth quite a lot. Costs 4 to bring in and tap, add 3 to your mana pool, 3 colourless, awesome. Oblivion Stone, this is great, this is awesome. Costs 3 to bring in, and you can pay 4 and tap to put a fate counter on target permanent, so that can be any permanent at all. And then you can pay 5 and tap it and sacrifice it. Destroy each non-land permanent without a fate counter on it, then remove all fate counters from all permanents. So you could, spend a few turns putting fate counters on some of your own stuff and politically maybe someone else's stuff as well. And then you can blow this up, destroy everything without a fate counter on it, leaving only the things that you decided to save, which is a great political tool and also a great tool for yourself if you don't want all of your permanents getting destroyed. So great card, Oblivion Stone. Meteor Golem, just a creature that comes crashing down. He costs 7 to bring in. He's a 3/3, but when he enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent and the permanent controls. Ether Snap. This is for token removal and planeswalker removal, basically. Ether Snap is remove all counters from all permanents and exile all tokens. So that's really good for getting rid of Super Friends and token decks. So I can Diabolic Shooter for this if I really need it. So Ether Snap is just again another really good toolbox removal card that I've got in there. So at this point you're probably wondering, what is your win con? I don't have one. I really don't. I don't have a win con, I don't think. But then again, I'm shit at Magic. Explosive Vegetation. Everyone knows what this does. Pay 4 mana, 1 green, 1/3. 1 green and 3 others, should I say. 2 basic lands onto battlefield tap, so shuffle your library. Beneath the Sands. This is, again, search library for a basic land, put it onto battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Costs 3, but it has a cycling on there as well. So if I don't need it, I can cycle it off and draw a card, which is good. Pernicious Deed. This is really good. I need to think of a better adjective than really good, because I keep using that and it's fucking shit. So Golgari and 1. And then it's got an X on it, so you pay X and sacrifice it. Destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with converted mana cost X or less. So it just sits there waiting to blow up people's stuff, which is really good. Then again, I'm saying really good. I need to find a better adjective. Glister the Traitor. So this is an awesome legendary creature. Could be a commander. I've seen other commander decks use her as the commander, and she is awesome. So green and black for a first strike death touch. So again, that first strike death touch combo is already on there, so immediately she poses a threat for anyone's creatures and not herself, so she can just wipe them from the face of the earth before they even touch her. And the great thing about Glister is whenever a creature an opponent controls is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand, which is awesome. Market Festival, another bizarre ramp card that I've got in here. Chantland. Whenever Enchanted Land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 2 mana in any combinations to his or her mana pool in addition to the land the mana produces. So this will allow something for tap for 3 mana of any combination. So I could just put this on a swamp and then say I'm going to tap for green and blue, so that will give me my Sultai that I need. So really good. Really good. Really good. Keep saying it. Recollect, just simply return target card from your graveyard to your hand for 3 mana. So awesome, like an Eternal Witness but without the body. Farhaven Elf, a creature that comes into play. You may search the library for a basic land, put it onto battlefield tapped. So again, just another body with a ramp attached to it. Just good early game to have bodies that when they come in, they give you an extra thing, which is good. Deathrite Shaman, awesome card. Costs 1 black or 1 green, hybrid mana. And you can exile target lands from people's graveyards, you can exile instant or sorcery cards from people's graveyards, and you can exile target creature cards from a graveyard. And each time you do one of those things, it gives you a different effect. So you can get any colour mana to your mana pool by exiling a land. You can make each opponent lose 2 life by exiling instant or sorcery, or you can gain 2 life yourself by exiling a creature. So again, great utility for removing graveyard stuff. Spine of Ishtar, this is literally a 7-cost artifact that when it comes into play, destroy target permanent, and when this dies or is sent into a graveyard, it gets returned to your hand. So if you have that Phyrexian Core out, you can keep sacrificing this and bringing it back to your hand and destroying things all the time, which is great. And then if it is, if every time it dies, it goes back to your hand, so you can just keep cycling it off. It's great, awesome card, Spine of Ishtar. Chromatic Lantern, so another thing that fixes your mana. Costs 3, and then lands you control add 1 mana of any colour, and it adds 1 mana of, on its own accord. So again, a great card for fixing people's mana. Hedron Archive, another mana rock which adds 2 to your mana pool, costs 4 to bring in. Then later on, you can tap it for 2 and sacrifice it to draw 2. So again, it's good utility late in the game. If you don't need mana, you can draw cards off of it. Discombobulate, another denial card. Counter target spell, then look at the top 4 cards of your library and put it back in any order, which is great. So you get to Insight. Another good thing is Insight. Basilisk Cora. This is really good. Really good. Keep saying it. I'm just going to nickname this video really good cards for Sultai. No. Costs 1 to bring in. The creature has Death Touch and Lifelink, which is great. And it costs 2 to equip. So awesome card with Damia. Gives a Lifelink. Casualties of War. This is really good. Really good. I need to pin something up on bedroom wall saying stop saying really good, because it's a crap adjective. Casualties of War. So this, choose 1 or more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment, destroy target land, and destroy target planeswalker. So if all of those things are out on the field, you can destroy every single one of those. And it's 1 or more, so you don't have to do all of them, which is like, this card is similar to Decimate. But Decimate, you have to have all of those things on the board at the same time, whereas with this, it's 1 or more. So, again, great card. The Elder Spell, more Planeswalker hate. I was really glad I pulled this in my War of the Spark booster packs that I got when I went to pre-release. Destroy any number of target Planeswalkers, then choose a Planeswalker you control, and put 2 loyalty counters on it for each Planeswalker destroyed this way. This won me a game in my Damia deck. So go and check out the previous video I aforementioned earlier. Link in the description below. Also, if I remember to put it on there. Spider Umbra. This doesn't really need to be in there, but it's just cool. Costs 1 forest, basically. Enchanting creature gets +1/+1 and has reach, so Damia will become a 5/5 with reach and Death Touch. But she also would get Totem Armor, so if she would be destroyed, I would just remove this card instead and she would survive. That's why I like Totem Armor cards. They're really good. really good. I'm going to have a little counter saying how many times I've said really good in this video. Counter spell, just simply straight up, you can't do that. Sorry. 2 mana, two islands. Oblivion Strike, simply exile target creature for 1 black and 3 others. Increasing Ambition, this is a quality card. So it costs 1 black and 4 others. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand. If increasing ambition was cast from a graveyard, instead search your library for 2 cards and put those cards into your hand. So it has a flashback on there as well. So potentially this can draw you 3 cards of your choosing. So great value. Scour from existence. So simply 7 mana of any colour. Exile target permanent. Quality card. Borderland Explorer. What's he doing in here? So he's a 3/1, he costs a green and 1 other. When he enters the battlefield, each player may discard a card. Each player who discards a card this way may search the library for a basic land and put it into their hand, then shuffle their library. What's he doing in it? What's that? Maybe there's a reason I put him in there, but each player can discard a card. Why do I want people to ramp? See? Shit deck builder. Rubbish. Braska the Unseen. Quality Planeswalker. So she costs Golgari and 3. Her uptick is until your next turn. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to Braska, destroy that creature. So again, it puts people off attacking her, and that's for +1. So she comes in with 5 loyalty. -3 is destroy target non-land permanent, of course. And then -7 is put 3 1/1 black assassin creature tokens onto the battlefield with. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. So again, that's a really imminent threat that, if left unchecked, can instantly kill someone. Nev's Disc. Nev's Disc costs 4 to bring in. Enters battlefield tapped, unfortunately, but it has 1, so you pay 1, tap it, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. So again, that's a great card. Mastermind's Acquisition, just straight up tutor card. Might have to replace this with Rascus Right or something else though, because albeit it's only 4 mana. Choose a card from you own from outside the game and put it to your hand. Doesn't really affect Commander gameplay, because you don't think you can do that in the rules. It depends on your meta, but you might have to switch it out for Rascus Right instead, which allows you to cycle. But again, more tutor cards for the specific scenarios that you may find yourself in. Lignify. This is just an annoying card. So this costs 1 green and 1 other. Enchant creature. So you could just enchant someone's commander with this, and they suddenly become a 0/4 tree folk with no abilities. That's a good card. Good card, especially if someone's commander is really horrible, and it has some really good abilities. You can just make it a 0/4 tree folk with no abilities. If they can't remove their own commander from the game, their commander is going to be a 0/4 tree folk with no abilities for the rest of the game. So, great card. I've never had to use it though, so it'll be funny when I use it. Hopefully, I'll capture the reaction on camera. Windgrace's Judgment. So this is Golgari and 3 others. For any number of opponents, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. So if you're playing a 4-player game, you choose each other player and they destroy a permanent from that player, which is great. Villainous Wealth. This is a great card. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library. So obviously this is a Sultai card and X. So 3 of those Sultai colours and X. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of his or her library. You may cast any number of non-land cards with converted mana cost X or less from among them without paying their mana costs. So you can literally just rinse someone's library and cast all their 6 spells. If you dump a load of mana into this, it can change the game. It's awesome. Boom Pile. So Boom Pile is a 4-cost artifact, and you can activate it by tapping it and flipping a coin. If you win the flip, destroy all non-land permanents. So again, there's a pure chaos factor in Boom Pile there. Gaze of Granite. So this is just on point with the theme. It's got a Gorgon just turning everything to stone. I think that's Brasco though, isn't it? It's got to be. Yeah. Destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X or less, and it costs green and black, and X, and you can destroy each non-land permanent which is less to X. Awesome card. Good targeted removal as well. So if Damia was out, everything with 6 or less, I'd probably destroy. That pretty much wiped the whole board at the time, and then Dharma would survive the aftermath as well, which is really good. Say it again. Black Sun's Zenith. This is a great way of getting around indestructible creatures and things that can't be targeted, etc. Put X -1/-1 counters on each creature, then shuffle it back into its owner's library. So 2 black and X to put -1/-1 counters on everything. Great card. Madroltha, the Gravetide. This is quality. During each of your turns, you may play up to one permanent card of each permanent type from your graveyard. So if I've sacked lands earlier in the game, I can bring those back. I could play instants or sorceries again. I could play a creature again. It's just a great card, great value card for Sultai. It really is a staple in any Sultai deck. And again, there's decks just built on this card alone. And I could even, use this card instead of Damia as my commander. But again, yeah, she's a good card. Madroltha. Universal Solvent costs 1 to bring in, and then you then pay 7 and tap it and sacrifice it to destroy target permanent. So like an unstable obelisk without the ramp, basically. Do I have an unstable obelisk in here? I don't. Maybe I need to put an unstable obelisk in here instead. Potentially. Yeah, who knows. And then we've got a Journey to Eternity. This is really, really good. Enchant creature you control. So obviously Damia. When an enchanted creature dies, return to the battlefield under your control. So again, it's like an Umbra. But then you return Journey to Eternity transformed under your control, and that turns into an Atzal, Cave of Eternity. And this adds 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool, and it can return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is great. So I can return like Archaeomancers to the battlefield. They come in, return a sorcery in an instant. Awesome, great card that is. Journey to Eternity. Would also be really, really good in a Golgari deck as well. Speaking of Golgari, last card in the deck is Gaara Charm, which is Golgari colours, obviously. All creatures get -1/-1 turn to turn. Destroy target enchantment or regenerate each creature you control. So you could board wipe and then just play this and regenerate each creature you control, which is awesome. So again, great utility card. But that is my Damia Sage of Stone deck, and I've seen other builds on Damia Sage of Stone, and it's nothing like this. This is just basically just removal with no win cons. It's just basically a Sultai good stuff deck. But I'd love to see what your Damia decks are, because this is probably not the way Damia should be utilised. But again, it's hard to build a deck around a 7 CMC commander, because most of the time your commander's under constant watch from the other players, and getting a Damia out and getting her to stay there for a whole round of the table before you can utilise her ability is quite difficult. And albeit I have got quite lucky in the sense that every time I've played her, the other players haven't really seen her as a big threat, so she's been allowing me to draw my full hand size, which is not a great idea in this deck, because it has so many answers to so many questions that are asked. So yeah, it's just great for dealing with things, and it's one of those decks where I can answer pretty much anything. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to see what other people have made. So if you've got a Damia Sage of Stone deck, or you're thinking of building one, I'd love to hear your ideas, because that's just, I'm not a great deck builder. I just build deck based on flavour and what mechanics I like, really. But yeah, that's quite a recent deck. Haven't really made many changes to it, and there's not many cards out at the moment with War of the Spark, Modern Horizons and M20. I'm not sure if many cards will be added to that from those sets in particular, but there might be, who knows. But make sure you link me your deck techs if you've made Damia, or if you're thinking of making Damia, or just what you think would be good in this deck if it is based on the same sort of theme of removing permanents and destroying and countering and all that sort of stuff, and just being a horrible player in general. But thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Pass the Turn, Magic the Gathering, and another deck tech video. Might do another deck tech video at some point on my new Atali deck, because I got that to the table for the first time the other day, and it was awesome. Really, really, really good. I'll say that again, really good. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Help us get to 100 subscribers, because as of right now we have, let's have a look, because I'm recording this right now. How many subscribers do we have? Pass the Turn have 98 subscribers still. So yeah, hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you stay tuned. Once we hit 100 subscribers, there will be a competition where you can enter the competition by doing a certain thing, which will be revealed when we do hit that number, and you'll be entered into a prize draw where you can win some fairly high value Magic the Gathering cards. So if you're a fan of Magic the Gathering and you're watching this video right now, make sure you stick around and help us get to that 100, because you could be in with a chance of winning some Magic the Gathering cards that are of high value. So whether you want to use those in your decks or just sell them on Liliana Market or something, make sure you enter, because you have to be in it to win it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.